Did you know the Department of Defense's Strategic Management Plan, their big roadmap for national security, cost something like $273,000 just to produce?
Wow, that's quite an investment for a plan.
It really is, and it outlines how the U.S. plans to defend itself, its interests, over the next 4 years. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into that exact document, the DoD Strategic Management Plan for fiscal years 2022-2026.
And it's definitely not just a dry government report. Think of it more like a living blueprint.
Exactly. Our mission today, really, is to cut through the official language, pull out the crucial bits, and we're working directly from the official plan itself.
Right.
We want to show you how the DoD is trying to stay innovative, agile, in what's, let's face it, a rapidly changing world, see what really matters in this plan.
It's a really foundational document. The Deputy Secretary of Defense, Kathleen Hicks, she kind of sets the stage. She talks about a myriad of security challenges.
A myriad, so not just one big thing.
No, exactly. It's complex. A web of evolving dangers, really. And that demands, well, both innovation and agility from the department.
Okay, so what are these core challenges then? The plan lines up with the 2022 National Defense Strategy, right?
It does. And that strategy identifies what they call pacing challenges.
Pacing. What exactly does that mean here?
Well, pacing challenges are basically the threats that dictate the speed and the scope for the DoD's planning.
Oh, okay.
So primarily that's the People's Republic of China. Their influence, their capabilities, they're expanding across, well, pretty much every domain you can think of.
And Russia, I assume, is right up there, too.
Absolutely. Its brutal and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine gets called out specifically. It poses acute threats, and that requires constant work with NATO allies to, keep deterrence strong.
Makes sense. What else?
Beyond those two, there are what they call persistent threats. Think North Korea, Iran, and violent extremist organizations. Still very much on the radar.
Right. And then there are these transboundary threats, which honestly isn't the first thing I think of with the DoD.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The plan explicitly names global climate change and pandemics.
Seriously. As impacting operations.
Critically impacting operations, yes.
Yeah.
It really shows a broadening of that national security lens, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It feels much wider than just traditional military threats.
It underlines just how comprehensive modern national security has become. So, okay, how does the DoD plan to actually navigate all this? The plan lays out three main strategic approaches.
Okay, what's the first one?
First up is integrated deterrence. Now, this isn't just about having powerful weapons.
Right.
It's more like a strategic task game. It's played across all the warfighting domains: land, sea, air, space, cyber, you name it.
Seamlessly combining everything.
Seamlessly, yeah. Combining strengths and really leveraging that network of U.S. alliances and partnerships, which is pretty unmatched.
So the goal is deterrence through complexity. Keep them guessing.
Exactly. Keep adversaries constantly guessing. It creates this subtle but, potent psychological pressure. It aims to discourage aggression without even firing a shot.
Okay, I get it. It's the sum of all parts, plus allies, working together. What's approach number 2?
That would be campaigning.
Campaigning.
Yeah, think of it as the DoD's sort of continuous global effort to proactively shape the security environment, not just reacting.
How does that work?
Well, it involves operating forces, synchronizing efforts across the department, all to strengthen deterrence by, say, undermining competitor coercion.
Pushing back subtly.
Right, and developing warfighting capabilities with allies and partners. It's about being proactive, shaping events before they escalate.
Okay, proactive shaping. And the third one, building enduring advantages. Sound like the long game.
That's exactly what it is. It focuses on accelerating force development, getting the right tech quickly.
Technology, right.
And, this is key, investing in the extraordinary people of the department. They explicitly call them their most valuable resource.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And this whole thing, the Strategic Management Plan, it aligns with the National Defense Strategy, meets legal requirements for transparency, accountability.
And you mentioned a shift towards data.
Big time. A significant shift away from older, maybe more manual methods towards a really data-driven approach.
Which, raises a huge question. How does an organization that massive track everything from deterring China to, personnel well-being, all using data? It sounds like an enormous challenge.
It is. And that leads us straight into Strategic Goal 1, making the right technology investments and transforming the future force.
Okay, the tech piece.
Right. The plan basically says, look, Technological superiority has always been central to the U.S. military edge.
So heavy investment.
Heavy investment in their science and technology foundation.
Yeah.
It's everything from the skilled people, the workforce, to like cutting-edge labs and testing infrastructure.
And staying ahead of the curve. They're targeting specific tech areas to build those long-term advantages.
Exactly. Critical technology areas.
Or-
And it's not just about inventing cool new stuff.
Yeah.
It's also about getting it into the hands of warfighters efficiently. That's the capability delivery part.
How are they doing that differently?
They're shifting to what they call a systems and portfolio-based framework. The idea is to align the big strategic decisions with mission areas for that integrated deterrence we talked about.
Uh-huh.
And using data, again, data as a strategic asset to really maximize delivery.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else falls under this tech goal?
Well, there's also a focus on modernizing and sustaining the nuclear deterrent. That's obviously huge.
Always is.
And at the same time, reforming how they approach chemical and biological threats. So everything from surveillance and detection through to preparedness and response.
Okay, comprehensive. Now, you mentioned data, but what about the internal IT stuff? That must be massive.
Oh, huge. Strategic Objective 1.5 is all about optimizing IT to improve capabilities, drive efficiencies. The DoD Chief Information Officer, the CIO, is pushing to reform operations, bring in industry best practices faster, and get better oversight of IT spending.
And this involves a move to, what was it, an enterprise data edge? Using Advana, what does that mean, data edge?
Yeah, Enterprise Data Edge. It basically means creating this unified, accessible data fabric across the entire DoD. Think of it like connecting all the data points.
And Advana is the tool for that.
Advana is explicitly named. It's the department's primary, authoritative, and enterprise-wide data analytics and visualization platform. It's meant to be the central nervous system for their data, pulling insights from all sorts of different sources.
And they've moved fast on some of this IT stuff already, haven't they? I saw some figures from FY 2021.
Really remarkable speed. They rolled out the commercial virtual remote, CVR, for 1.3 million users
How fast?
in just 1 month.
1 month. Wow.
Yeah. And the DoD 365 Cloud Suite, that was for 2.8 million users in less than 9 months.
That kind of scale and speed, few companies could manage that.
It really shows their aggressive push towards modern software practices like DevSecOps.
DevSec.
Development, security, and operations all integrated, making things faster but also secure. And they're building out an enterprise cloud environment too, with big targets for year-over-year growth in cloud spending.
So this digital transformation is serious.
Very serious. And it's reinforced under Strategic Goal 4, which is address institutional management priorities.
Okay, what's under that one? This is where the CDAO fits in, right? The Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office.
Exactly. They set up the CDAO specifically to accelerate how the department adopts data, analytics, and AI.
So what does that actually mean for, like, the day-to-day work of people in the DoD?
It should mean, greater efficiency, more transparency, better data-informing decisions at every single level, from logistics planning right up to top-level strategic insights.
Makes sense. Anything else under institutional priorities?
A really big one is getting an unmodified audit opinion.
Ah, the audit. Financial accountability.
Huge push for it. They want to reduce what they call material weaknesses and actually retire over 70 old legacy financial systems by fiscal year 2027, making sure taxpayer dollars are used properly.
That's a major undertaking.
It is. And speaking of Advan again, the plan actually highlights how critical it was during 2 huge real-world crises.
Oh, yeah. Which ones?
The COVID-19 response and the Afghanistan non-combatant evacuation operation, the NEO.
How was it used?
It provided near real-time analytics for senior leaders making critical decisions on the fly.
Wow. That's data having a direct, immediate impact on global events.
Absolutely. A powerful example of data strategic value in crisis management.
Okay, so we've talked internal systems, tech. What about looking outwards, the broader defense ecosystem?
Right. That brings us to strategic goal 2. Strengthen resilience and adaptability of our defense ecosystem.
Ecosystem. That includes the defense industry.
Definitely. Shaping a 21st century defense industrial base, the DIB. Big focus on supply chain resilience.
Which became a huge issue recently.
Exactly. So they're leveraging things like the Defense Production Act, Title III.
That lets the president compel domestic production.
Yes, for critical defense needs, especially in emergencies. And maximizing made-in-America manufacturing where it makes sense.
We saw the Defense Logistics Agency, the DLA, step up during COVID, didn't we?
Big time. They were crucial. Got and distributed, 138 million test kits, 31 million masks.
Incredible numbers.
Yeah. And they also support disaster relief, like providing fuel during that big winter storm, Uri in Texas. Shows their adaptability.
So resilience isn't just supply chains, it's also the bases themselves, installations.
Yes, installation resilience is a big part of Goal 2. Fortifying, protecting DoD installations against attackers, whether that's cyber or kinetic, physical attacks.
And climate risk, too, you mentioned earlier.
And climate risk, absolutely. Things like energy resilience, making bases less dependent on vulnerable power grids, and proactively dealing with climate impacts to ensure they can keep operating long term.
Okay. And cyber is obviously huge here, too. Cyber first, cyber always mindset.
That's the phrase they use. And the big shift here is towards a zero-trust architecture.
Okay, zero trust. We hear that term a lot. What does it actually mean for someone using their systems, like day to day?
So for the user, zero trust basically means the network doesn't automatically trust anyone or any device, even if they're already inside the network perimeter.
No inherent trust?
None. Every single connection, every request for access, it gets verified continuously. It's about assuming any access point could be a vulnerability, moving past that old castle and moat idea of defense.
Got it. Verify everything, always.
Pretty much. Beyond that tech stuff, Goal 2 also covers expanding global partnerships for R&D, collaborating with other nations, the private sector, universities.
Academia, right.
And even specifically focusing on boosting partnerships with historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and minority-serving institutions, MIs, all to maintain that technical edge.
That's a really broad view of resilience and the ecosystem. Okay, so we've covered tech, resilience, but what about the foundation, the people?
Absolutely critical. Strategic Goal 3 is all about taking care of our people and cultivating the workforce we need.
And the numbers are staggering. How many people are we talking about?
You've got 1.3 million active duty, about 800,000 in the National Guard and Reserve, and around 780,000 civilian employees.
Wow.
And the DoD explicitly calls them its most valued asset.
So how are they taking care of this asset? Recruitment and retention must be huge priorities.
They are. Improving civilian recruitment and retention is actually an agency priority goal. They're trying to cut the time it takes to hire someone down from like 94 days to 80 days.
Still sounds long, but better.
It's progress. And for military recruitment, they're adapting, using non-traditional advertising venues like social media, e-gaming.
Meeting potential recruits where they are.
Exactly. Recognizing how younger generations engage.
But it's not just about getting people in, right? It's about the environment once they're there.
Totally. Big focus on building a safe, supportive environment. That includes diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility DEIA initiatives. And also tackling head-on what they call problematic behaviors. Things like sexual assault, harassment, extremism. Plus, promoting lethal means safety to try and reduce self-harm. It's a holistic view of well-being.
That sounds really important. What about families? Military life is tough on families.
Huge recognition of that. Family support is critical for retention, for morale. The plan talks about addressing childcare needs.
That was a big one.
Yeah, increasing reimbursement options is Come Grow With Us initiative to actually attract childcare staff to bases.
That's practical.
And also helping military spouses with professional licenses. Nurses, teachers. It's hard when you move states every few years. So they're working on making credentialing easier across state lines.
That would make a massive difference to family stability.
Huge. Financial stability, quality of life. And then there's healthcare itself.
Right, the military health system.
They're working to increase its effectiveness, transforming the MHS, rolling out MHS Genesis.
That's the new electronic health record.
Yes, the idea is to centralize, standardize patient data across all military health facilities. Make care transition smoother, hopefully.
And mental health.
Continued focus there, too. Improving services, and really trying to reduce the stigma around seeking help, which is still a barrier for many.
Okay, so a lot going into supporting the people.
It all ties back to this core priority they mentioned. Succeed through teamwork.
Teamwork within the DoD.
Within the DoD components, yes, but also working seamlessly with other U.S. government agencies, and critically, with allies and partners around the globe.
So that integration theme again, we see allies being brought into warfighting concepts.
Directly. The Navy and Marine Corps, for instance, synchronizing with allies in the Pacific, the Arctic, even in space now.
Space, wow. Any specific examples of this integration and action?
Project Convergence is a big one. It's Army-led, but it integrates AI, robotics, autonomy, not just within the U.S. Joint Force, but with allies too.
So joint experiment.
Exactly. Conducting experiments with over 100 different joint and ground combat technologies, running scenarios relevant to places like the Indo-Pacific.
And that feeds back into planning?
Directly. It informs the overall joint warfighting concept,
Hmm.
helping evolve how the U.S. and its allies plan to fight together in these really complex modern environments.
Okay. But the DoD's reach isn't just about combat, right? You mentioned humanitarian missions earlier.
A massive part of what they do. The plan highlights the support for the Afghanistan NEO, Operation Allies Welcome.
The evacuation.
Yeah. U.S. Army North coordinated support for over 76,000 Afghan evacuees who were housed temporarily on military bases.
76,000 people. That's incredible coordination.
It really is. Shows the interagency and international collaboration in action. Demonstrates the sheer breadth of the DoD's mission beyond just fighting.
And the Air Force role in that.
Huge. They described it as the largest airlift in recent history. Evacuated over 124,000 civilians from Afghanistan. Just staggering logistics.
Unbelievable.
And related to that global interaction, the Air Force also has significant international armaments cooperation agreements. Over $1 billion total, with like $422 million coming from partner nations.
So allies investing alongside the U.S.
Right. And they have this Foreign Area Officer Program, FAO program, designed to develop warrior diplomats.
Warrior diplomats, interesting term.
Isn't it? It really shows this shift, recognizing that national security today isn't just kinetic power. It's also about cultural understanding, diplomatic influence, where maybe empathy is as vital as any weapon system.
A different kind of battlefield.
In a way, yes. And shifting back inside the DoD for a moment related to managing all this complexity, they're also focusing hard on their own financial house.
Ah, yes, the financial management strategy you touched on, the first all of FM strategy.
That's the one. Uniting over 55,000 financial management professionals across the department.
55,000, wow. What's the goal?
It's about more than just balancing the books. It's about empowering data-driven decisions, making sure financial integrity is seen as a fundamental piece of national security itself.
And Advana plays a role there, too.
Advana is a key tool again, yes. For transparency, for oversight, it just reinforces that solid financial management is crucial to the whole strategic vision.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here. Navigated this pretty complex DoD strategic management plan.
We have.
From defending against major threats like the PRC and Russia to embracing tech like Advana, AI.
Right, the digital transformation.
And that clear commitment to the workforce, their families, their well-being.
It's a very broad scope.
So for you listening, hopefully you've now got a much clearer picture, a kind of shortcut to understanding the strategic priorities of this massive, complex organization.
Yeah, this deep dive really shows that national defense today, it's not just about traditional military power, is it?
Not at all. It's deeply intertwined with the strength of data, the resilience of all these interconnected systems, and ultimately the health and vitality of the people involved.
Well said.
So, here's a final thought to leave you with. If the DoD is prioritizing this integrated deterrence across all domains, land, sea, air, space, cyber, and they're explicitly calling things like climate change and pandemics transboundary threats, well, how might that shift how we should think about national security challenges, in our own daily lives, beyond just the traditional military stuff?
That's a really interesting question to ponder.
Something to consider.